Okay, sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Guys, I apologize for the late start. We're 2 minutes late, but I just wanted to make sure that we had the microphone working. And okay, it looks like we are live. Sorry, technical difficulties. Sorry about that, guys. Microphone was giving me grief, and then for whatever reason, YouTube was saying that it was loading and that it wasn't recording. But here we are. We're good. Let me get my pen so I can go off my list. All right. Here we go. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in for another Sunday night session. We got a lot of really cool stuff happening this week. And first and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you had a very good, enjoyable New Year. Where everyone was safe. Everyone's got all 10 of their fingers and not playing with fireworks. And we, I can still hear fireworks. Actually, my neighbors have mortars and they shoot off fireworks. And so it's like living like a couple miles from Disneyland again. So anyhow, if you hear popping, that is not shotgun shots. That is actual fireworks going off. So anyhow, we have a couple really fun things to talk about today, and then we're going to do a lot of open session. I wanted to fill you in on a couple things that we've been cooking up here at the Watercraft Journal, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about some of the events that I plan on attending and some possible rides that we might be putting on. So first and foremost, what happened last week? So last week, as you guys tuned in, I was with Jerry Gaddis of greenhulk.net, and I'm getting my knee out of the, okay. And that's always fun to go down and to hang out with the guys. Jerry and his son Greg are doing a lot of work. Jerry's got a lot of irons in the fire, and so Greg has taken over the YouTube channel. And Greg wanted to do a video that I wanted to do, and we just so happened to have the right materials to do it. I had the time, so we shot down to Morgan City, Louisiana, and we did a quick video. And in that process, and I've been teasing it a little bit this week, was that we took a 2020 GP 1800 SVHO or 1800R SVHO, and then we also took the 2021 GP 1800R SVHO and lined them up head to head. And I'm not going to tell you the numbers here. We have a video coming out in about 2 weeks that's going to be breaking down all the numbers and breaking down the acceleration and top speeds of these machines. And these are box stock. These are unmodified as per the factory box stock. The only change that happened on any of the watercraft was that Jerry's 2021, they have uncorked the visibility spout off the back of it. My 2020 that I have here does have the visibility spout. That is literally the only mechanical difference between the two watercraft. My 2020 that I have here has 15 hours on it, and Jerry's has 6 hours on it. So again, and they're topped off. We topped off the gas because we didn't want anyone going, Kevin's a liar or Jerry's a liar, and they wanted to sandbag this one. So we literally top them off like gas spills out. We top them off so that they have a full tank of gas, and that's 6 pounds a gallon. And we put Greg on it, who Greg weighs like $155 or $158 or something like that. And I mean, he's literally 90 pounds less than me. So, and Jerry and I weigh the same. And so we were like, put Greg on it. So Greg got some amazing numbers out of it. And one of the neat things that we also did, obviously the 2021 has launch control. So we did runs. Obviously the 2020 does not have launch control. So we just ran it as is. and we ran it with the wind and against the wind because we had like a 5 to 7 mile an hour wind. And because it was a locked canal, there's no current. So that was kind of cool too. But for 2021, there's launch control. So we took runs with launch control, without launch control. So we did it that way, which was good. So that all you guys who are all freaked out about launch control, whether it matters or not, we wanted to scratch everyone's itches on that one. And so you have with launch control, without launch control, and up against the 2020. And then we also are putting up the numbers from the 2018 model that we did in our earlier shootout from 2 years ago. And that's really interesting. As we teased in the Instagram post and here on the YouTube channel, the 2021 murders the 2018, like murders it. And I have no problem saying that the 21 beats the 20, but we'll show you by how much. And you guys can decide whether that is enough to make you want to sell your 2020 and buy a 2021 or not. I know Yamaha is going to be happy with this video. I think it'll be. I think they'll be really happy with the video. But I did want to share a quick little story as to what happened on Tuesday. Was after our video shoot, I was invited to join a couple really great guys. And one of them is watching right now, Billy Duplessis, and his buddy Bill, William. Is it William Baggert? Billy, you're going to have to correct me on this one. What's Bill's last name? And then Paul. I didn't get Paul's last name. But we all went out for a ride. We went out and did the Blind River out of St. James in Louisiana. And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Really neat, technical, high speed, but a lot of cornering. So that's some of the most fun for me is those tight scenic, but really tight little natural race courses. And that was Paul Pace. Okay. And anyhow, so Paul, Billy, and Bill, and myself and my 11-year-old daughter, we shot out and had an absolute riot out on the Blind River. And unfortunately, as luck would have it, on the way home, because it was about an hour's drive. Yeah, William Baggert. It's about an hour drive from where I was staying in Morgan City. And I noticed that my old beat up Dodge truck was running kind of hot. And I was like, what the heck? Now, mind you, I had it idling in the parking lot for a half an hour while I was, chewing the fat with the guys. So I thought, well, maybe it's just running hot because it's been sitting here for this long and had the air going. Well, we keep driving and the damn thing keeps climbing. And I'm like, okay, we got a problem. So I got to find a gas station. Well, my problem is that I don't know the area very well. So I'm out in the middle of the sticks. I am way out in the boonies. And I don't have any sort of phone signal. And I pull into the service station as quick as I can. The biggest one I can find that has got like an actual store in it. I pop the hood and I see that the tanks on the side are actually split. They're actually separating from the core, from the aluminum radiator core. And I'm like, I am an hour away from Jerry's. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And my truck is taking a dump. And so I let it cool off. I start pouring water into the radiator because I'm not going to fill it up with $100 worth of coolant if it's just going to piss out the coolant. I'm just going to keep it wet and going to fill it up with water. Thankfully, I got a hold of Jerry. Thankfully, I got a hold of Billy Duplessis. Billy and Bill show up. And another fellow who was a former Marine, he pulls up and he's like, hey, buddy, let me help you out. You got a little girl here. I can see you're in dire straits. So everyone's helping me out. I got a few tools. We're checking to make sure the hoses didn't split. Hoses didn't split. We see the crack in the radiator. Bill pulls out a screwdriver and a hammer, and he starts hammering on the radiator to close up some of the pinch teeth that hold the horizontal tank on. I'm pouring water in. We decided, hey, listen, I'm not going to screw the cap on all the way so we don't pressurize the system. We're going to limp this thing back to Jerry's house. Meanwhile, Jerry's driven about 45 minutes out. So I meet up with Jerry on the way out, and we cruise all the way back. Holds temperature great. Really, it actually drove fantastic. It was a real blessing. I was very thankful. Billy was there to help out, and Bill was really helpful to help us out. This poor guy who lived next door, lived down the street, he was great too. And so we get back, and I'm stuck out in Morgan City, and Jerry's looking at me going like, listen, I got a radiator guy, but I'm going to tell you right now, Morgan City is a one-horse town. He says, you might be staying here a little bit longer than you want to be. Well, this is the day before New Year's Eve. I'm thinking, well, no one's open. So the next morning, we pull in to Jerry's buddy there in Morgan City, and he's a good old boy. And guy says, no problem, drop it off. So we drop off the truck, and I'm literally hanging out at Jerry's house waiting for a phone call. About an hour and a half later, they say, hey, we found a radiator. We found a brand new core. We're going to put it in. So really? Jerry calls me, and he goes, did you get the message? I said, yeah. He says, that's impossible. He goes, I never find parts, especially same day. He goes, I never find parts in this place. He goes, there's nothing here, Kevin. I was like, well, all right. I'm counting my blessings here. So now, mind you, I've got a 10.5 hour. I got to stop for gas and get food. So it's almost a 12-hour drive home. And I'm thinking, I'm coming home. I'm not staying another day. I'm going home. I got my kid with me. She's wiped out. I'm wiped out. I'm going home. I'll caffeinate myself to the moon, but I'm getting home. They get this thing all charged up. Everything works great, but it's 3:30 by the time I get on the road. Now, mind you, Billy, God bless him, and I'm talking about the community here, and this is why I'm telling this long-winded story, is Jerry's checking in on me. Billy's checking in on me. I'm getting Facebook messages from the guys, from Bill, and they're going, where are you? Are you home? How's the truck? Are you in good shape? Let me know if you need any help. I pull in at like 1:05, 1:10 in the morning. And sure enough, I'm getting messages from Billy going, let me know when you get home. And why do I tell this story? I tell this story because the quality of people that exist in the personal watercraft community will be some of the best friends you'll ever meet. I'm telling you this, all right? I know it's a 10-minute story, but some of the people that you will meet in this community will give you the shirt off your back. They will drive hours out to help you out. I mean, I'm getting messages at 1 a.m. Hey, I just want to make sure you got home okay. Hey, are you good? How's the truck? Trailer make it? How you guys doing? That's the kind of quality that we have in this community. And I'm telling you, guys, there's a lot of people who judge the jet ski community by Facebook. Don't do that. Don't judge the PWC community by Facebook. Don't judge it by the online presence. Don't judge humans by online presence. How many people talk trash online who would never have the stones to say it to your face? All right. I'm telling you, if you haven't, I implore you, I'm begging you, if you haven't, find a group local to you who are going on a ride, who are doing an event, and go. You don't have to talk. You don't have to be Mr. Popularity. But go. You will find some of the greatest people you've ever met. I'm telling you. Some of the greatest people you've ever met. You want to know why I go back to Mudbug? I'll tell you this story. I'll make this one quick. First mud bug I ever go to was 2014. All right. They just stopped doing the racing because of liability issues. Jerry was doing some radar gun stuff. But to be honest, I didn't know that it was a free-for-all sort of thing. And I didn't know that people used the board, didn't use the actual forum to orchestrate rides. And I really didn't know anyone. So to be honest, I didn't go on any rides. Friday and Saturday, I kind of sat around. I really didn't know what to do or where to go or anything. And I was really bummed because I'd ask, I go, hey, where's everyone gone? They're like, oh, they went on a ride. I go, okay. Well, how come I didn't know? I was clueless. So I just didn't have an idea. So Saturday night, I was talking with my daughter, who I'd brought with me, who at the time was like 5. I brought a 5-year-old to the mud bug, which is idiotic. But I'll tell you why this is a good thing. She was kind of like, Dad, I'm bored. This isn't fun. I want to go home. I thought about maybe going home a day early because I had the hotel till Monday morning. So I go on to the forum and I go to the mud bug rally page and I go, guys, this has been a bust for me. I got a stock ski. I'm just here to go on rides. I didn't know if anyone was going to be still hanging out. And almost immediately, a bunch of people started showing up and going, dude, Kevin, I didn't know you didn't. Dude, you should have said something. I'm like, so out of the blue, within an hour, we had a group lined up for Sunday morning at like 9:30 or 9 a.m. in the morning. And it ended up being like a dozen of us going out and riding this great ride. And I think it was like Lake Pelord or something like that. And we had a riot. We were on the water for like 5 hours, had a great time, went swimming. Everyone had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And I said, this is what the mud bug's about. This is what the mud bug was about. And I haven't missed one, unless it's been canceled because of weather, since that time. And it's because of the community. It's the community of people. So again, half the fun is the community. I got to say it. Half the fun is the community, is the friends you make and the people you meet. So, why do I say all this? What's going on for 2021? Well, the big thing that I didn't get to do in 2020 that I really wanted to do was I wanted to invite everyone onto a ride. And Greg, I'm literally talking about it right now. Greg, all right. So over a year ago, I teased the idea of just doing the longest damn ride I could. I said, besides, taking a month and, going around, doing the Great Loop. I'm not going to do that. But I really want to do a really good long distance ride. I thought about 600 miles. I thought about 500 miles. I said, what kind of route could I do? And I had some ideas, and I talked to some people who are far smarter than I am and knew the area really well. And at the same time, I was working on prototypes for the long hauler auxiliary fuel kit, which Billy got to see in person. And he seemed to like it. So anyway, as I was working on that long distance tank, I was also looking at ride ideas. But the problem was that the COVID shutdowns kept shutting down other events and venues. I go, well, this isn't going to work out at all. I wanted to do something down in the Panhandle. I thought about doing something at Morgan City. I was like, I was going to work with Billy Cruz to figure out a really cool route that would be kind of diverse in anywhere in the Gulf. I'm like, we got to find a really fun route. Well, too many things happened last year to make it possible. Jerry Gaddis had back surgery. Other things were going on in his life. I was working on my kit, the COVID stuff, and then we had 4 major storms hit the Panhandle and the Gulf, I should say, just knocking everything out. I mean, we were days away from doing a big 450-mile ride And the guys from Louisiana called up and they're like, dude, we can't come up. We got a storm. Storm's going to hit in like 3 days. And we're not leaving our wife and kids here while we're up jet skiing in Tennessee. And I was like, well, I understand. No problem. I get that. So what do we do? Well, I ended up doing the ride by myself. I did what I jokingly called the Cumberland 440. And the Cumberland 440 went really well. Like, really well. So here's the idea. I'm making a quasi announcement right now. Is when things warm up, I'm thinking late March, mid March to, I don't want to be into the April because that's race season. But I'd like to do March is. And as we get closer, it might change. But I'd like to do the big open invite for the Cumberland 440. That's 440 miles in one day. All right. I did it in 10 hours. Actually, less than 10 hours. I did it in like 9 hours and 40 minutes. Okay. And my average speed, I had it pinned, but then I had to stop and I had to go through 2 locks. But my average moving speed was about 52 to 54 miles per hour. Okay. So, and I was on a Kawasaki STX 160 LX. The idea for the Cumberland 440 is to go 220 miles from Old Hickory Dam all the way to Paris Landing, and there's going to be someone there, a turnboat, who's going to take tally of everyone, and then head all the way back. That's the plan. That's the idea for the Cumberland 440. So that's the ride I want to do. Is it going to be a race? Not officially, because I don't want the insurance. Is it a proper event? No, but I might have people sign waivers or a waiver saying that I'm not held liable if they break down or crash or sink or blow up or catch on fire or whatever other thing. But if they want to go on a ride with me, that's the ride I'm doing. And the first 3 people to finish might get some swag. So that's the ride that I want to do. All right. That's the ride I want to do. Because if that ride comes off without a hitch and it goes well, then I want to plan other rides and do them down in the Gulf. The Gulf is easier for people to get to. It's a little more central. I've been talking to some guys down in like the Panhandle PWC group and the guys who've done all around there, who know Panama, know Pensacola really well, know all the mangroves, know all the routes. I want to find a fun, long route that encourages people to bring as much fuel as possible, to make as minimal stops as possible, and just keep it pinned. That's the idea. All right, that's the idea. And that's what the Cumberland 440 is going to be. And if it's 4 of us or if it's 40 of us, well, I can't imagine it'd be 40. But if it's 4 or 14 of us, that's the ride. Okay? And I'll feed you dinner at the end of it. Okay? We'll have a big tailgate party in the parking lot. And we'll give out free swag and free stuff and awards, and we'll do some video, and you guys will be part of an episode of Watercraft Journal's YouTube show. But yeah, that's the one I want to do in March. It's still a little cool. It's not freezing, but it's cold. It's cool. Unless the weather's weird and it's snow on the ground or it's totally impossible to do it, then I'll push it back and we'll do it in April. But otherwise, I really want to do this in March. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that event. The only issue is I strongly recommend you guys either use my kit, the long hauler kit, make your own if you don't already have one, or just get really used to filling up extra fuel on the back, because you're going to want to carry a butt ton of fuel. All right. I hope to be I don't want to do it on the GP. I can. I just don't really want to. I think my ideal would be an ultra. And for reasons. I have reasons. But I think my ideal weapon of choice for that ride would be an ultra. I think it'd go well. But we'll see. But anyhow, it's just if I can get my hands on one. So anyways, that's the idea for the Cumberland 440. And I'm going to announce it again. We'll talk about it here. I will. Oh, Anthony, good question. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. First, I want to wait for it to get a little bit brighter out. Obviously, I don't want the sun going down at 4:30 like it does right now. I'd like it to, be sunny until about 6:30 or 7. Middle of summertime, the sun doesn't go down till 8:15. But I want everyone to put in. Originally, I was going to have you guys put in below Old Hickory Dam in Tennessee, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to be there. I'd rather do it at the park above on Old Hickory, and we get in the water at 6 o'clock, 6:15. Everyone's got to launch at 6:15, and we're going to lock through together. We'll go through the lock, and in the lock, I'll do the riders meeting, which I think would be fun. And in, let's see, I'm going to the big St. Petersburg boat show on the 15th. Do you think I will see any skis there? Hoping to find a dealer that will let me test. I don't think they're going to be doing testing. And that boat show hasn't been canceled yet? Oh, it's Florida. I don't think Florida will cancel. You guys actually have a governor with balls. I like him. Ron DeSantis. Re-elect Ron DeSantis. I doubt you'll see a dealer who will give you a test ride. I really, really doubt. I'm willing to bet. They might have some units there because they know how important the boat shows are. But that's going to be a crapshoot, dude. That's going to be a crapshoot. Okay, so back to the ride. So I'm thinking we all put in at the nicer marina and a nicer launch in Hendersonville. And this stupid Bluetooth mouse. But the idea is to have everyone put in Hendersonville at the dam law. I have to figure out the name of it. Oh, duh. Boy, that's really dumb of me. Okay. Yeah, it's Rockland. The Rockland Recreation Area. Excuse me. So the Rockland Recreation Area is a really nice place. Good place to lock up your truck. And the nice thing is that we can go through, we lock in, and we lock through. We do our little spiel, and as soon as we idle out of the no wake zone, you gas it all the way. You gas it all the way to the first dam, the first lock. Well, now it'll be the second lock, and from then on out, it's a drag race. And that first sprint from dam to dam takes you through downtown Nashville. Takes you through some really neat scenic areas. It's a lot of fun. Really, it's just really cool. You see like the old General Jackson paddle boat and all that kind of fun stuff. But anyways, yeah, that is going to be that's the idea for this ride is do. All right. I'm sorry. I'm double checking something really quick. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, Cheatham. It's the Cheatham Dam. Okay. So, anyways, that there'll be more details on that ride, but I want to do that in March, and hopefully everyone can do this. And the weather will be good, and there'll be enough sunshine, enough sunlight. Because I'm not going to do this if the sun goes down at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So, anyways, number 2 is I'm doing the mud bug in June, and June is going to be mud bug for me, and we cover racing, and we're gonna have people covering the Pro Watercross Tour and Aqua X. And we always do. I used to make a bigger deal out of being at physically being at all the races. I didn't need to be there. I could be busy spending my money doing other events and other stuff. So I have my photographers and everyone who are covering the event there, and I'm over on somewhere else doing something else. So it's just I got to be smart about my time and resources. But if the Cumberland goes off well, I'm thinking September will be the golf ride, and the golf ride will be similar. How much gas can you bring? It'll be far more diverse. The route will be way more diverse. I'm going to get in with Billy Cruz and with the PWC, the Panhandle PWC group, and we've been mapping stuff out and thinking of fun routes and things like that. But something that would double as an unofficial race, and that's the idea. I want people to be pushed. I want to push people. I want to push myself. It's fun. It's fun to push yourself. It's fun to push your ski. So that's the idea. And I know there's guys out there with 85-mile-an-hour skis who are just screaming. They're just super fast. And that's great. But sometimes Dragon, I'm literally telling you. I'm literally saying. That's the idea is going to be in September. Now, what happens in September is usually Sea-Doo comes out with their new model units, and there's always an event. So I have to make sure that I am making the dates line up with Sea-Doo's reveal. Yamaha is typically in August, so that's a little bit of the dance I got to play, because I'll tell you what, I'm not missing the Yamaha reveal to go on a ride. I'm going to go to Yamaha's thing, or I'm going to go to Sea-Doo's thing before I do a ride. So I will work it out, and I'll make sure that everyone has 3 or 4 weeks ahead of time so that they can get work off and they can schedule a hotel room, things like that. I don't want to last minute like, okay, go. That's not fair to you guys. But anyhow, let's plan for March, as long as there's enough daylight. I think we're good. Oh, here's the other problem. And I got to ask you guys, those who are interested. I don't want to do these rides on a Saturday or a Sunday. I don't want to do them on a Saturday or Sunday. I'd rather do them on a Monday or on a Friday. And I'm going to put up guys, I'm spitballing here. So, but the route, I did the video. Club Mayview. All right, Mayview, if you're listening, when I'm done and we're done with today's session, do me a solid and go to our YouTube channel and look up the Cumberland 440 ride. It is exactly the route that I'm talking about on the Cumberland River. That's the one I'm going to do in March. Okay. The route for the Gulf ride has not been finalized. It will be long. I want it to be long. I want it to be 300 miles in one day, minimum 300 miles. All right. I want people hurt. I want people to be in pain. And that's the kind of masochist I am. And I think it's fun. I think to push you and your ski that's the challenge. All right. 100 miles in a day is a cakewalk. All right. You can do that with a cooler on the back. You can do that on a full tank if you nurse the throttle. All right. There's guys with FXHOs who are doing 118 miles on one tank. So no, I'm not doing a 100-mile ride. It'll be a 300-mile ride minimum. And I want open ocean, and then I want not a lot of open ocean, but I want enough that people go, oh my gosh, this sucks. And then to come back inside, and then we do, intercoastal, and then we do some, trails up into the water, up into the swamps and stuff. I want diversity. So that's the idea. And to be honest, the one thing I'm weak about is navigation. I need to have better navigation equipment, but there also needs to be a sense of navigation involved in this too. So, all right. In fact, I might hit up Billy for ideas on this one. I might be hitting you up, Billy. Those are the two rides that I'm really, really looking to do this year. That the Watercraft Journal puts on. Okay. And again, these are not cruises. There's no smoke breaks. There's no piss breaks. There's no lunch with dessert break. We're not stopping to take video of of turtles and little scenic things. This is going to be kicking your butt. That's the idea, is to kick your butt. All right. Watch the Cumberland. The Cumberland video is the Cumberland video. I'll tell you this. There's about 8 minutes of footage of me just swearing my brains out and we couldn't use it because the camera's doing this. I mean, it's just literally the whole time it's doing this, and it's impossible. I couldn't use it, and I'm swearing my brains out because I was beating the crap out of the ski, beating the crap out of my cameras. I was afraid the tank was going to rip off, which it didn't, which made me very proud of the design that we had made, because it turned into 4-foot garbage. The footage that we have in that ride of when the wind kicked up and the Tennessee River turned into crap, that's 3 foot, 2 to 3 foot. It was rough because it was wind chopped and cross-hatched, but it wasn't like 4 to 5 foot. And that's the kind of stuff that really I kind of want to put people into. So anyways, the idea is to push you as a rider and to push your ski and push your ability to navigate and push your ski's ability, your fuel mileage ability, or just your fuel mileage. So again, there's a lot of parameters here that I'm trying to hit. So guys, if you want a taste of what I'm really, really digging at, go back and watch that Cumberland 440 ride. Please go check it out. It's a little bit longer than our normal 10-minute video, but it's really to give you a sense of you can achieve a really crazy mileage number in a day without working too hard. I mean, I wasn't in traction the next day. I wasn't on pain pills. I was fine. Because most of it, I mean, there's parts where it's so glass, you're bored. It's so glass that you're like, this is a joke, right? But then it turns into garbage, and then it gets confusing, and then, oh, wait, I got to backtrack because I've been going down the wrong route for the last 2 miles. Happened to me. So, anyways, that's the idea for these two rides. I will be putting out more information on the Cumberland 440 as we get into the new year. Pretty much in February, I'll be posting it on the magazine and teasing it on the YouTube channel and on Instagram. But we'd love to have guys show up. We think that there's more opportunity for hotel stays and easier access to food and gasoline and provisions on the Hendersonville side of the lake. So that's why we're going to lock through in the morning very early. And we hope to be at speed going by 6:30, 6:45. That's the idea, depending on how quickly we can lock through. But that's the first ride of the year. I will be joining a couple other different rides. I know I'm going on at least 2 with the Middle Tennessee Club. And then I have been wanting to join the guys in South Carolina and doing the waterfall ride in South Carolina. I just haven't done it I haven't done it, and I need to do it this year. It depends on what units that the magazine gets this year. I'm almost guaranteed that I'm not getting anything out of Yamaha. Yamaha is going to sell every unit they've got, and that's just a guarantee. And I think Sea-Doo, the proposal goes in this week, and I initially was thinking I wanted a 300 limited, but to be honest, I think the better idea is to probably have more seat time on the PX. So I might be putting in a request for a yellow PX, because the purple one's a premium, and there's already a line for the purple one. Everyone wants the purple one. And I'm your waterfall. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, dude, let me know when there's a ride. I'm game. Let me know when there's a ride, bro. I'm game 100%. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. We obviously every one of these rides gets video content, and then the skis. I have to rack up hours on the skis. I think I've got 20 hours on that GTI SE. And I thought I put a lot of hours on there. I did not, because I had so many other skis. And I had to just rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate. And it drove me crazy because I got this really cool GTI SE out there. Oh, hey, upcoming video. Guys, this Wednesday, while the nation proceeds to burn down to the ground, I'll be publishing a new video. Sorry for the political joke. But yes, we're putting out it's a short tech video, and it is for those people who, quite frankly, a lot of black plastics, colored plastics, sure, those are older, but for black plastics that are bleaching, that are chalking, there are proper steps to revitalize your black plastic using a heat gun, a dedicated heat gun. And it's actually in Sea-Doo's service, in their service manuals on how to restore plastics and how to repair plastics in using heat guns. We follow these same steps, give you a lot of really good technical information. But that video is a 6-minute video on how to restore your black plastics without melting the crap out of them using a cheap $20 heat gun from Harbor Freight. All right, anyone can get one. Go to Harbor Freight, and I think I got mine for like $18 or $19, and use a heat gun. This is what Sea-Doo recommend. It's in their manuals. Okay, this isn't some shade tree mechanic thing. This isn't some hillbilly thing. And no, there is no lost liquids. There is no lost oils. That's not true. And you can melt the plastics, and you can alter the texture of the plastic. If you do, just sit there and bake it, because you'll literally boil the plastic. But we teach you a little bit of hand motion and maneuverability in bringing back plastic. So that video comes out on video and article comes out on Wednesday. So we're going to have that for you this week. My team is already working on the 2020 versus 2021 GP shootout, and that one should be, let's see, so the 6th. So I'm hoping to have the shootout by the 20th at the latest. So that gives us 2 weeks. And that will be a cool one. But then we've got another shorty in there. We got quite a few things. I still have 2020 Yamaha reviews I got to put out. So maybe we can figure out a way to bump up. Maybe we can bump up the shootout to the 15th. I'll see if we can do that. That'll be tough, but I think we could do it. All right. Well, let's answer some questions. We're already 45 minutes into this, and we will see what people have questions for. Please. Okay. This stupid wireless Bluetooth mouse is killing me. All right. Here we go. Scrolling up. All right. Oh, by the way, guys, anyone who wants to take a better look at the auxiliary fuel tank system that we developed through the Watercraft Journal, I put the hyperlink at the top of the comment section. So you can go to the top of the live chat, scroll up, and you'll be able to see it. Okay. You're late. Well, you misspelled your. So it's apostrophe R-E. You are. It's a conjunction. Sorry. All right. Saw the video of the new EX model. Looks like a late model ski to me. Oh. You're saying that it looks kind of old school? Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, dimensionally it's the size of a full-size ski fit 25 years ago. I mean, 20 years ago was, the GTXs and, the FXs and, the FX 140 was what, 2003? So, all right. Keep going. Let's see here. Reading that people with the new 2021 VX Cruiser HO are getting 65 miles per hour. Used to be lucky to get 62. Same hull, no trim, new hull liner, gas tank. Placement must make the difference. Same with GP. Jason, no. Those are speedometer speeds. Don't believe the speedometer speeds. Use a GPS. Now, the GP 1800R HO is getting 65, and it's because it's made out of Nano XL2, weighs 70 pounds less, or like 68 pounds less. So there's a weight difference. The HO is not made out of Nano XL2, so it's heavier, it's thicker. You're getting 62 miles an hour out of it. That's just how it is. So no, Jason, they're not getting 65, 66 out of it. They are out of the GP HO, not out of the FX Cruiser HO. All right. Does anyone know GP 1800R HO horsepower? It's 180 horsepower. Oh, Jason just wrote that. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. Really hoping to ride with the Nashville group this summer. Greg, please join us for the Cumberland ride. I promise you'll have fun. As long as you keep, and I'll give you a list of everything to bring to be prepared, and everything to expect, so you're not surprised and going like, "Why isn't he stopping?" That because we're not stopping. If you got to take a leak, you got to jump in the water and go, and then jump back in on your ski. And if it's cold out, you're going to earn that one. All right. Long hauler. Billy says long hauler auxiliary fuel kit was a real nice setup. I was really impressed seeing it firsthand. Great job. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, a lot of people, there's a lot of interest in it. And I mean, obviously it was Christmas time and it's a big expenditure. You're going to spend the money on your kids or your wife because you should. And then once it starts getting into riding season, pick up an auxiliary kit. Okay. That 440 would be awesome. Would love to attend. I hope it works out for us this go around. The only concern that I have for you, Billy, and you Cajuns, is if it's cold. It was 72 degrees when you and I went for a ride, and you guys were dressed like you were going snowmobiling. Cajun blood is spicy, but it's thin. Where would the ride start? The Cumberland 440 ride would start at the derp. Come on. Yeah. The Rockland boat ramp. Rockland, one word, Rockland boat ramp, Hendersonville, Tennessee. And we'll all go to barbecue for Tennessee barbecue the night before. All right. Let's see here. Brand new Ultra by me 2020. Good. Yeah. Hey, you heard me go on a rant about the Ultras, and I really want to see the break on it earlier than it's going to be. We're probably looking at 2023, 2024 before the break shows up. All right. Michael asked about the St. Petersburg. Doubt you're getting a test ride, dude. Just buy the FXS VHO. I have one. They're amazing. Honestly, Michael, I think you're right. I think he's right. I love the FXS VHO. Like, I personally love it. I'm torn between it and an Ultra. If the Ultra had ride or IBR, I'd probably pick an Ultra because of the gas tank and the storage. But the glove box, the improved seat, and the tilt steering position, I like the dash too, is superior. Power to weight ratio is great. It's lightweight, but it tracks so nice. The FX hull tracks so nice through chop. It really, really does. All right. So Dragon's right, 100%. I agree 100% with Dragon on that one. Michael, my dealer pushed back my GTX Unlimited till April, so I'm hoping to find one in Florida. FX is for my brother. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Just got a new 300 Limited. Pretty nice as well. Wow, Dragon's got a bunch of skis. Dude, he's got something of everything. All right. Here's how I test a new machine. I stick my head in the engine compartment and take a big whiff. I hope you don't have a fuel leak. And you know what's funny? Kawasaki, because Kawasaki is still using SMC, when you pull the seat off a new Cowie and you smell the fiberglass degassing, it takes me back to high school. It takes me back to just old school fiberglass jet skis. It's a really retro smell. It's really funny. All right. I'm in Rhode Island, and I've had one on pre-order since June. Yikes. Ugh, that's a long wait, dude. Oh, Dragon, that's a long wait, Michael. All right. Any feedback from someone with a Fish Pro? Or like a 2021 Fish Pro with IDF, or just a Fish Pro in general? I've been on Fish Pros. For fishing, they're great. I was on a 155 and then a 170, and the difference is negligible. Power band in the mid-range power band is improved, but considering the weight of a fully loaded Fish Pro, you're really not going to feel it. Let's see. Do you think Kawasaki will install an IBR ride on their watercraft? I talked about that 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago that I talked about the IBR, like at the tail end of our video? If they do, you won't see it before the 2023 model line. That's and yes, they do have a patent for the brake. I described how the patent or how the brake works and how it operates. And we did an article on it. And you can search watercraftjournal.com and see pictures of the actual patent design of how it works. I mean, literally point for point how it works. Let's see here. Bimini run. Guys, you can't do Bimini. Not with COVID. Bimini is a sovereign nation, dude. They're on shutdown, and they do not want Americans showing up on their shores. That's a no-go. Sorry, Charlie. You have better luck going to frickin' Cuba than you do Bimini right now. Can you post a map of the route? Okay, that's club. Okay. That's going to limit the amount of attendees. What do you mean? Like if it's going to be a Friday or a Saturday? Yeah, it probably will. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe it's too chilly out and a Saturday will be fine. I mean, I just don't want to run into a whole bunch of boat traffic. That's my biggest grief. Now, the nice thing is that typically they don't run barges on Saturdays. So we don't have barge traffic, but you got a bunch of buttheads, drinking beer and listening to country music too loud. So take the good with the bad on that one. Let's see here. Sold my Cowie 300 to buy a Sea-Doo GTX Limited and haven't had a ski since June. The problem is finding one. Yeah, no, they're all sold out. They're all sold out. Michael, you did not pay attention to the market, and you did not listen to me, and you did not listen to the Watercraft Journal. We were screaming this from the rafters. Sorry. I hate to say I told you so, but I totally told you so. All right. Matthew Bell, keep hitting up your dealer. I got lucky, and one came in 2 days before I called looking for a trailer. Oh, well, there you go. Cool. What'd you get? Let's see here. Isaac, I have sold my 300X and looking for a Cowie 310R or Yamaha GP 1800R. I don't have a problem finding stock, luckily here in Australia, but the problem is what's better. Again, it depends on what you're going to do with it, how you're going to ride, where you're going to ride, your ability to ride. It's not a really fair question because they're not exactly the same in the same category. All right. The GP was designed to go around buoys. The Ultra was designed to go around islands in the open ocean. So figure that one out. Let's see. Most of the dealers in New England gear up for snow until April. We skipped ahead. Crap. So they will be. They will all be like your dealer is. Besides, it's damn cold until May anyhow. Yeah, but some people want to ride in the cold. I don't mind riding in the cold. Let's see. Would love to do the ride, but not allowed to cross from Canada to USA with COVID. 9-hour drive to Nashville, though. Jason, let's see what happens in March. I'd love to have you come down, dude. I would love to have you come down. 9-hour drive ain't that far. We got guys from Louisiana who are driving 10 hours up. So, yeah, let's just see what happens with the COVID thing. Hopefully, some of this stuff blows out. We'll just have to see. Well worth it. Take Captain Joe Cassie up on that offer. I'd love to. No charge for ski riders. Charge? What charge? You're charging people? I don't understand. Okay. I got lucky on my New Year's Eve and my local dealer. Oh, I'm glad there wasn't a period after that. I got lucky on New Year's Eve. Period. Good for you. No, I'm joking. And my local dealer in SoCal just received a 2021 GTX 300 Limited, so I jumped on it. So happy. Cool. Good. All right. Well, good on you, dude. I'm glad you were able to snag one. Not able to use it. I have a 2018 GTI SE 130. The auxiliary fuel tank. Yeah, unfortunately, it just doesn't work on Sea-Doos, guys. And I went into a lot of detail as to why the kit does not work on Sea-Doos. And the only way to make it work on a Sea-Doo is a lot of permanent modification. And that was simply something we just did not want to do. Let's see here. Dealer says there is no need to change oil after 10-hour break-in. To wait for a year. Sounds crazy. You're right. I always change oil after breaking it in. What's your thoughts on GTX Limited? Change your oil as per the factory. Sea-Doo oil changes are finicky. In fact, most guys that I know, including myself, all put in less than 3 quarts. Like, honestly. Because windage is so bad in those engines that you can actually overfill an engine with ounces. I mean, it's significant. The break-in period. Why the break-in period? Why you want to change the oil after the break-in period is because of ferrous metals. This is actually a really good topic for another time. But basically, unlike Cowie and unlike Yamaha, Sea-Doo got rid of the pressed-in steel sleeves in the cylinders. So it's an aluminum block with no steel sleeve. Instead, it's an electroplated coating. All right. And those coatings and the rings, I mean, there's something called seating, S-E-A-T-I-N-G, seating the rings. When you seat the rings are broken in. The rings around the piston. Let me get you a visual aid. Here is a JE piston, JE made top fuel piston. All right. This is a little treasure of mine. It's for a Hemi motor. Because all top fuel motors, whether it's a Chevrolet, a Ford, or a Mopar, are all hemispherical headed. All right. These are ringlands. Ringlands. And I'm going to say it ringland because I know it's wrong. It's wrong, but I'm going to over enunciate and say ringland. All right. These ringlands have your rings in them. Okay. And these rings help locate the piston inside of the cylinder wall as it goes up and down 9,000 times a minute. All right. So I got some schmutz on my coating. You can see it's speckled. Anyway, these rings need to find their proper placement. And that break-in period is heat, expansion, cooling, constriction. Heat, expansion, cooling, constriction. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right. And that break-in period where they say do not maintain the same speed for X amount of seconds. They want you to alternate the speed up and down the whole damn time for 5 hours. All right. The reason they want you to do that is because they want the piston speed at a full variance. They want it going at different speeds all the time so that the rings are put through a full cycle and that in the cylinder wall, it too is seating with the rings. All right. Well, guess what a ring is doing? Ring is metal, and it's going up against this electroplating, this coating, which is a ferrous metal. That's metal on metal. All right. And if there's no oil in there, hypothetically, your oil is going to be the bottom of your engine is going to be full of just glitter. It's going to be full of just shredded steel. All right. So that oil acting as a protective layer is keeping that friction to a minimum. It's not 100%, but it's to a minimum. So you're shaving. The rings are literally shaving that electroplated coating. Why do you want to change your oil after 10 hours? So that you're not running that shit through your oil valley, through all your oil journals, and through your valve train, and through your timing chain, and through your under piston sprayers. You don't want that sludge. You don't want that ferrous goo going through your engine. So at 10 hours, change your oil. And when your dealer says, oh, it's stupid, tell them to shove it up his butt. All right? That they're idiots. It's not about the oil breaking down. It's not about the viscosity of the oil. It's not about the molecular bond of the oil. It's the garbage in the oil that you're worried about. That's why they're telling you to break it in and change your oil, is to get all the extra coating and extra material that's going to get knocked off out of the engine. Guys, I keep thinking about breaking in flat tappet camshafts, and that's a whole different creature. But there is literally, like, guys who build old hot rods and hot rod engines, you have to run a special break-in oil for the first time you run your engine with a flat tappet camshaft, because you are literally grinding metal on metal until it smooths out. And then once it's smoothed out and you got a couple pulls on the dyno, or you got an hour or two, you drain all the oil out, you flush it out, and then you run your good oil through it. So please change your oil after the break-in period. Please. All right. What is better in chop, the FX or GTX? FX, 100%. Like 100%. 110%. 150%. 200%. Michael, FX. Like, I can't emphasize this. And that's wide open throttle, trimmed, clipping. All right. If you're out there bobbing, you're fishing, do GTX, because GTX was designed with the Fish Pro in mind. All right. I weigh 245 pounds. I can stand up in the footwell of one side of the Fish Pro and cast a line. That's amazing. That's amazing stability. All right. At low speed, you can get up. You literally at trawling speed. You on a Fish Pro, you can literally hook up the trawling speed where you don't have to touch the gas, but don't have to touch the gas, and it goes 9 miles an hour. You can literally stand up and walk around the stinking thing, and the ski won't move. That's how stable the GTX ST3 platform is. But at speed, FX 100%. All right. Why is the top speed on the new GTR 230 slower than the 2018-2019 top speed? Drag. Hull speed. Just because it makes more horsepower. I'll tell you what. You could have a built Honda Civic. It's a pretty quick Honda Civic. But I could show up with a Hellcat motor and put it in a bus. Well, that bus still ain't going to beat you, even though I got 707 horsepower. All right. It's lighter, yeah. The new GTR 230 is lighter, but it's drag. All right. The Polytech hull has more drag. I think it's a great hull design, personally. The hull design is fantastic. I love the GTR 230. I think Sea-Doo did a fantastic job with that platform. I really did. That's why it got Watercraft of the Year, guys. The GTI platform that they have right now with the Polytech hull is that good. It's that good. All right? It's that good. But, again, drag. The new GTI is slower. It's faster accelerating, top speed, slower. All right. Is it so people splurge and get a new? No. This is a conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory. And you know what? Most people don't ride like this, wide open throttle, pinned. They don't. They just don't. Especially people who are going to buy a GTI. People who buy a GTI, they're cruisers. They're family people. They're buttheads like me in their 40s with 3 kids. That's me. All right. I'm not going to be wide open throttle all the time. Rah! No. Who the hell's racing a GTI 170? I mean, I'm sure some guys are, but dude. Yeah, like the best I've gotten out of that thing is like 57, 58 miles an hour. All right. I can only get 80 miles out of my 310X. Of course you can. Of course. Because that thing drowns the pistons. Kawasaki drowns the pistons on that engine with fuel. Notoriously. Like, intentionally. It's way intentional. Go to K-Speed. No. Stop that. Go to the articles on watercraftjournal.com and type in K-Speed. And we tell you why. We tell you why K-Speed's reflash. All right. When I was racing Ultras, 250s and 260s, when I was racing Ultras, getting 74 miles an hour out of an Ultra was a godsend. That you were Moses parting the Red Sea. I don't know who you were, but you were doing, unless you tore everything out and put a turbo on it. All right. You had to have a $3,000 Motec ECU. It was a chore. It was a mess. But K-Speed comes along. Intake rate, pump wedge, reflash, 77 miles an hour. And better mileage. Huh? Well, how does that work? Intake rate fully loads the pump. And the pump of the Cowie is pretty damn bitchin'. Pump wedge manually adjusts what's called the attitude, which is, does the ski, here's the nose, here's the bow. Does the ski favor the bow or does it retard the bow? You know how the FX needs to have a ride plate? The new 2019 and up FX needs to have a ride plate because what does it do? It nose plows. It retards the bow. That ride plate brings it up just a hair up. Changes the attitude. All right? The attitude of the ski. So, say it with me, kids. Attitude. Sorry. It's like Sesame Street. So, again, the pump wedge manually brings that bow up on the Ultra. All right? Then the ECU advances the timing curve, backs off the fuel a little bit, leans out. It leans it out, but it also richens it at the higher speeds. So you might get the same. You might get 80 miles out of it, but you'll go 77. But I'll tell you what, you put my fuel tank system on there, in 9 minutes, you'll have 13 and a half gallons extra on the back of your ski. Dunzo, dude. You got it. All right. That's, 13 and a half gallons on a 20-gallon tank. It's about 65%. What is that, 65%? An added 65% fuel capacity? Think about it. All right. Hello, I have plans of purchasing my first boat in a matter of days. What are your thoughts of a Yamaha 70 horsepower for 15 foot? I don't know. I don't know nothing about boats. I really don't. Sorry. I wish I did, but I really don't. So sorry, James. I have no answer for you when it comes to the outboard 70 horse. Kenrick, tuned in from Honduras. Mucho gusto, Catracho. Oye, Catracho. I love it. I was in Nicaragua for 2 years. So I was with a bunch of Guatemalans. So Los Chapinas, puro chapín pero con zapatos. And then Los Nicas. Oye, hablando en voz. Oye, Bo. No me moleste, Bo. Those guys are the worst. Did we just get... We got a... Hey, Adam Rossi. Here we go. Look at you. We got our first super chat, guys. Hot dog. We got our first super chat from Adam Rossi. That's rad. Thank you very much, Adam. 2015 GTI SE130, Ohio freshwater, in only 40 hours. Changed oil, but skipped dealer's winterization this year. Bad idea? What are they actually doing? Go out to the garage, bump it over. Don't run it very long. Run it for like 20 seconds. You don't have to ring it out. Don't do that. It's not a two-stroke. It's not an old 440 or 550. You don't need to do that. Go over there and bump it. Every 2 weeks, go out there and bump it. Turn the oil over. Turn the oil over and run some gas through the injectors. You'll be fine. Do it. I dare you. You'll be fine. Winterization is for people who hit it and quit it. Winterization is for the Canadian guys who are like, oh, crap, I'm not going to see this ski for 6 months, and it's going to be in storage, wrapped up in a bag somewhere or up on a shelf. I'm never going to see it. But honestly, Adam, if you go out there and you bump it over, make sure that there's juice in the battery, make sure your gas is circulating, and make sure your oil is rotating, you're groovy. You'll be fine. All right. Let's see here. Fingers crossed for Wednesday. You and me too, Scott. We'll see if the boogaloo happens. All right. Go GTO moms. Thanks again for the guidance, Eddie. All right. Hey, it wasn't my mom. My mom had this is how 80s my mom was. She was a hairdresser in Long Beach. She had a fancy salon. She drove a black 928 Porsche. She was fancy. Meanwhile, my dad drove a beat up Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'll beat to hell, but he beats up all of his cars. Let's see here. Some people assume there's a charge because of the tour boats. Oh, it's always my pleasure to bring guests to some of the map spots. Oh, hey, I'm thinking like a group. If there's a group happening, let me know. I want to come out. I want to do it. But obviously, there's probably no waterfalls anytime soon. When do the waterfalls actually happen? Thanks. I used to use ZDDP. Yes, Larry. Well, that was the STP additive. That was the additive. STP made its name with ZDDP because that's when the unleadening of gas started happening. Lead is a natural, lead's a natural lubricant. It's also a knock deterrent, pre-detonation, or detonation, a detonation deterrent. So there's plenty of additives out there. But new super, good, like a Shell Super, like 93, has a lot of good additives in it. It actually has some of the best additives. The Techron additives and Chevron are good too. All right. That's exactly what I thought about breaking. Okay. Let's see here. Ann White. Okay. In my 50s with the GTI. Yeah. Like low 50s? Oh, you have a 130. So yeah, you'd be like 51, 52. Is a pump wedge better than using trim if you have it? No. Think about it this way. Pump wedge changes the angle of the whole pump. All right. Well, no. Let me try it this way. Pump wedge changes the angle of the pump. So the thrust direction is not hitting an angle. Your trim is doing this. All right. So if thrust is coming down my forearm, it's hitting and it's hitting and being redirected. Well, what does that do? That loses energy. All right. You're losing energy and thrust as it's being misdirected. A pump wedge isn't doing that. Does that make sense? So you're losing thrust. All right. Let's see. Angle of attack in aircraft lingo. Hey, Kevin. Want to install an extra battery on my 16 RX TX. Can I just mount a new battery and run leads to the original, or is an isolator or something else needed? It depends on how much draw you plan on having. If you're looking at adding like a lot of draw, like a fish finder, a big GPS unit, you're gonna want more than just leads to the primary, because the secondary, I'm thinking like race cars, and I know that's not a really good analogy because it's different. But no, Rhino, that's a very good tech question. It depends on how much draw you plan on pulling out of that battery. You know what? Oh, no, you got a 16. I was thinking you had an 18. If you had an 18 RXTX, you could literally get the Fish Pro wiring harness because they have a secondary battery. Shoot. Okay. Keep Trump in office means absolutely nothing to me, but exposing our corrupt system and getting some election integrity back means everything. Waterfalls are there year round. Oh, great. I mean, they're pouring. Because the waterfalls by us, you got to have rainfall, and it's primarily during spring. So, okay. Waterfalls year-round, Carolina, Florida ski rider event, June 26th through 27. I don't think I can make the Florida event, but maybe I can do sooner. All right. Was given a 2002 GTI LE over the years, worked my way up to an RXTX. There you go. You're exactly the kind of clients that Sea-Doo wants. They want someone who's going to graduate. So good work. All right. Sea-Doo used to do an auxiliary battery kit. Boy, I don't know if they still have it. Well, they would for people with Fish Pro. Oh, that's such a good question. Dang it. I don't have an answer for that. Peter, thank you. All right. Now you got me. I'm going to have to figure something out now. All right. Hey, Cap, how do we get in for free? I've had to pay every time to use it. You have to pay to use the boat ramp. Oh, how much is the boat ramp? All right. I've installed a Fusion Marine audio system with two. Okay. Yeah, if you're going to have a lot of draw, you're going to want that secondary battery. I want to see if there's a good harness. I want to see if there's a good secondary harness. I don't have an answer for you. I don't. Rhino, I'm sorry, man. I wish I had a better answer. I wish I had a better answer for you. Now you're going to make me do homework. All right. Would you run a 2-stroke ski on your Cumberland run? If I brought enough gas. Oh, and then the premix. I mean, you could. Guys used to do the Catalina on 2 strokes. Hell, they used to do the Mark Hahn with 2 strokes. Guys with GP 1300Rs would do. Just as long as you got gas, bro. Just as long as you got gas. All right. All right. I got 7 more minutes, and then I'm tapping out of this. Great info on the break-in. To James in Ecuador, 70 Yamaha. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was asking about the 70 Yamaha. Can you do a 1-2 switch for the second battery, same as boats? Again, I wonder if there's a harness for it. I mean, unless you're a wiring guru and you can rewire it, I just don't like cutting into the factory harness, guys. Especially with late model skis. I don't like it. Oh. 2021 FX SVHO or 2021 GP 1800R SVHO. We'll be riding both chop and flat. Holy cow. Holy cow. Junkie just came in. Guys, we got a super chat for $20 from COD Junkie. Thank you, sir. Outstanding. Great content. Hope to join on one of those awesome rides one day with my 2019 FX SVHO from Florida. Dude, definitely want to have you. Definitely want to have you. Oh, you know what, guys? Oh, I was thinking about this. All right. Damn it, you're going to make me go into overtime. All right. The first long haul video that we ever produced was me and a guy named Kev Hemingway from Jet Ski Junkies. And we wanted to go from one side of the Florida coast to the other side and back in one ride. All right. Mileage wise, it's actually not that long. The holdup is locking through the dams. We got held up on two major things. First, stopping for gas. Second, I needed someone faster to be with me. All right. Our average moving speed was 31 miles an hour. It was intolerable. We were way too slow. All right. I want to do the coast to coast ride again in Florida. I know that June and the guys from the Florida Ski Rider guys, they tried to do it, but their timing was bad. The weather sucked, and then they got all caged in with all the lily pads. And in fact, half of the route got closed off because the locks were closed off. So they ended up just in Lake Okeechobee and turned back around. I have to plan it right and make sure that the waterway is clear. But I want you guys to join me in doing the first long haul again. I don't care if it's 80 people. I don't care if it's 8 people. I don't care if it's just me. I want to do it again. All right. That is the plan. That's the plan. I want to do that. So, Junkie, think about that. Go back. You guys, if you haven't seen it, go to our very first episode of Long Haul, episode 1, and watch it. All right? That's the ride I want to do. That's the Florida ride. I want to do that ride again. But if I'm doing that ride, I'm doing it on FXHO. Fuel mileage and pinned. 55, 58 miles an hour, pinned. My gas tank system on the back, 18 and a half gallons up in the fuel cell, 13 and a half in the back, one fuel stop. Done. I'd kill it. All right. Let's see here. 2004 GTX SE 400 hours rebuilt supercharger 3 years ago. Put 20 hours on. Still has been sitting last few years. Supercharger still good or need another rebuild? Probably not. Probably not. I can't imagine it going bad. If you only have 20 hours on it, it should still be good. Yeah, you should be good, man. It's me. Yeah, you should be good. I'd say fire it up, see what it does. Fire that ski up, guys. If you put a battery in it, pour some fresh gas in, or siphon the bad gas out and put some fresh gas in, crank it over, see what it does. Check the plugs, make sure it's happy. But yeah, most definitely. All right, Peter. Could look at camper conversion shops. Ooh, good idea. Boat ramp fee is $7 per person. Devil's Fork State Park. Yeah, I wouldn't think state parks would charge it, but whatever. Rhino, thanks, Kevin and Peter. Hey, Rhino, I don't think I helped you out at all. I apologize. So I'm glad that Peter was able to throw out some good ideas. $8 and okay. Let's see here. I just did the West Coast to East Coast. Yeah, we got to do it back and forth. I'm going back to my truck in one day, guys. The hard thing is all the locks. If you can get through the lake fast, you can, and your navigation's tight, and you can keep your speed, you'll be fine. All right. Chunky's in. There we go. During June's birthday bash, we made it all the way. Okay, you did make it all the way. You made it from east to west coast. Good. Now we got to do it back. That's the idea, Cap. All right. On the secondary battery, I have the service manual, and it doesn't say how many amps the 2021 FX alternator puts out. I don't want to overload it with the GPS. I assume it's around 6 to 10. Guys, is it that low? Is it that low? Speaking of RxTX, I already have the depth finder that displays the depth on the gauge and want to install the Fish Pro fish finder. Can I fit both transducers or I have to remove one? No, you'd be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be 100% fine. Good night, all. Have a happy and healthy new year. All right, Anthony, take care. I'm about to sign out too. Thoughts on the 2021 Yamaha VX? We did a review on it. Brian, check it out. Brian, we did a great review on it. We did the VX Limited, but the Limited, just imagine whatever other unit, like the Cruiser or the Deluxe or whatever, just without all the bells and whistles, without all the accessories. VX is great. VX is a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'm at an hour and a half here. So we did it in one day, Okeechobee, Palm Bay, back across Okeechobee to Fort Myers. Left at 6 a.m., arrived at 4 a.m. with several stops. Okay, well, I don't want to stop. That's me. I bring my food. If you take a stop, you're stopping to wait for the lock to open up. So you jump in, you take a leak. Then you climb back on, you have a Gatorade and a granola bar. And you walk through. Dude, this ain't no pleasure cruise. I want to pin it. I want to set a record. And if you can do it, all right, you said 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's cut a couple hours off of that. What do you say? Are you down? Because I am. All right, guys, I'm done. This was fun. This went a lot longer than I was expecting. Again, I hope that you had a very happy and enjoyable New Year and holiday. Full throttle except for the locks. I like it. Yeah, but wasn't June on that little EX of his? Let's go 40. No, they don't. They go like 52. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks again. This was a lot of fun. Please pay attention to what's coming out this week. We have the year in recap 2020 article, what's called Watercraft by the Numbers. And that will be out on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be our plastic restoration video and article. And then I'm going to try to put the throttle on to get the 2021 versus 2020 Yamaha GP shootout video done quicker. Because that's a cool one, and that's worth getting out fast. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. I know I talked up the auxiliary fuel tank system. If you guys are curious, go to watercraftjournal.com/shop. All right. And you just go there. I'm not saying buy it, but go check it out. We did an installation video on it here on the YouTube channel. Installation article on the website, on the magazine. And then obviously the Cumberland 440 ride is when I did 440 miles in one day by myself using that tank on a Cowie, no less. So guys, thanks again. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. We definitely appreciate our super chats. Thank you very much. And we will talk to you soon.